Colton, how you like these night games, man? You know, what time is it? All right. Yeah, again, thanks for sticking it out with us tonight. It's been a long day, and first I want to say that I want to thank our fans. They showed up big for us today. They were a huge factor in this game because they brought the energy, and it was sustained energy. Our student section was loud, and we could feel the energy from our fans from start to finish. They were here early, and they really helped sustain us and push this team, and that was big for us, and that was an advantage for us in the game. You could see, you know, false starts and things like that. That's what you call home field advantage, and it was a factor. I'm proud of our football team because we found a way to get the job done and stay in the left-hand column. And you know, I've been on some teams, some really good teams, and oftentimes when you see you know, good teams, they have to win games like this. When you have to win games like this, you have to find a way. And all week, we were showing our players examples of how special teams were impacting games across the country. You know, whether it was punt return, kickoff return, and we knew that our return game was on the verge of exploding. And we popped a couple kickoff returns. Coach Els made a really good call on that last punt return, and then obviously, you know, Jayden Reed and those guys out there got it done, got the blocks we needed, and got it in there. So it's you know, it was a team win, but there was a lot of lessons to be learned because we talked to our team daily, constantly, all throughout practice, all throughout meetings about just keep chopping wood, play the next play, play the next play, play the next play. The most important thing is what you do next, and just keep going, keep going, keep going. That's how we train. That's our mindset. You know, it's relentless. Relentless has two components. It's high velocity and it's nonstop, and we're just not going to stop, and we're going to find a way to get it done. And our guys, our coaches, our players, our entire organization believes that, and believes in finding a way and trusting our process. And so, you know, it was in turnover margin, I mean, you know, I think we were +1. You know, the last takeaway we got was huge in the game, huge. And that's a big part of it. Special teams, field position. You know, Bryce did a really nice job punting the football. You know, so even when we were stalling out, you know, we were able to, you know, line up, punt, get it out of there, and make them go the long, hard way. And you know, giving our defense a chance to get them stopped and things like that. And so our guys were very, very poised in the game. And we talk about, you know, never flinching. You know, just don't flinch no matter what. Just stand in there and just take it and just keep going. And we talk about that pendulum swinging back and forth, that pendulum of momentum in games. And this game was no different. I mean, there's always momentum swings, you know, and how do you, if you lose momentum, how do you get it back? You get it back through execution and playing the next play. And you can get it back just like that. And that's what we were able to do there, you know, there at the end. And so we haven't played our best football yet this season, but we have remained in the left-hand column, and so again, it's the same thing. It's a 24-hour rule, and then we get back to work. We figure out what we need to do to correct some things, and then we move on to the next one. You give Nebraska a lot of credit. I mean, Scott has been there for a few years, and he's building the program, and they've gotten better and better each year. And like we saw last week in Norman, on the road, they took Oklahoma, on the road, and they had them, and they had a chance to win the game, And so, what does that mean? It just means that, every time you step on the field, man, it's going to be a physical 4-quarter football game. We told the players it was going to be a double mouthpiece game, and that's what it was. I mean, it was physical from the start all the way to the finish, and we found a way to get it done. So I'm proud of our football team, and I'm happy that we won the game. And I told the players in the locker room, I said it's not just football, but it's in life. It's a life lesson. You just don't quit, period. No matter what, you just keep going. And I also told them that this is bigger than just the players and the coaches and staff in the locker room. We're playing. This is big for Michigan State, the university, our university community, all of our fans and alumni across the country and across the world, and our former players. Everyone is invested, and we can feel the support from everyone. And so, these types of wins, these are gut checks, can be transformational moments. So we'll just see what's next for us. But I know one thing: this team is very grounded, and so we'll go back to work and get ready for the next one.
Take questions on either side, starting with Rico in the back.
Coach, I know you're excited for the win that you got today, but what was the difference between the first and second half from the 240 yards to the 14 yards? Was it Nebraska's adjustments? Was it lack of execution, or a little of both?
It's probably a little bit of both. I have to look at the film and see what it is. It's I just have to look at the film. I mean, it was not pretty. So obviously we have some things we have to fix, but I have a lot of confidence in our staff and in our players to do what we got to do to get those things corrected, so we can play better football next week.
Jayden Reed had mentioned that as soon as the punt was kicked, he knew that 2 seconds after it was kicked, he was going to return it for 6. And so how did you see it, and does that confidence come from what you were just speaking to about watching it in practice this last week?
Yeah, well, it was a good call by Ross, Coach Els, and based upon our scheme, our punt return scheme, and what was called, and how Nebraska reacted to our formation. It was obvious, like when the ball was in the air, it was obvious that we had a shot. And with a guy like Jayden Reed, I mean, he doesn't need a lot of room, but there was a lot of room out there, and he was out the gate, and so. But it's something that we practiced, and it's we were able to execute it. They kind of reacted the way we thought that they would, and so it was a good call, good execution, and then obviously you got to have good players, you know, to execute the play and make a difference. And Jayden Reed is a difference maker, is what he is. He's a good player.
Mel, over here, can you talk a little bit about Jacob Slade and what it meant to have him back in the rotation on the D-line, and did you expect him to have as much of an influence on this game as he did tonight?
Yeah, Slade, he's a very important piece to our team, to our defense. You know, because you know, we need to be stout in the trenches in there, and you know, he's a guy that you know, he's playing. He's not just playing for himself. He's playing for his teammates. He's playing for this team. He's an unselfish guy, and you know, he's playing through some things, and that just goes to his mental and physical toughness, and he's a leader. You know, he kind of leads in his own way. I mean, he's not one of those real like rah-rah vocal type of guys, but he is a rock. You know, he's a rock solid. You know what you're gonna get from him day in and day out, and he tries to help his teammates as much as possible. And you know, he's playing. You know, he's playing for the name on the front of the jersey. You know, just as much as he's playing for the name on the back. I can tell you that.
Fred.
Mel, two quick things. Beasley was in a boot. Do you fear long-term with him, or do you know yet?
Yeah, we'll know a lot more tomorrow, and you know, we'll see. But you know, he's going to be sore.
I think at Miami afterward, you called it we were prepared for a 15-round fight. Were you prepared for 16 rounds this week? I mean, this was like an old-fashioned Big Ten bloodbath, wasn't it?
Yeah, we knew it was going to be that. We said during the week it's going to be a double mouthpiece game, and we're prepared to go 4 quarters or more. There was no doubt about it. I mean, we knew what it was going to be. We knew that it was going to be we wanted to make it a physical game. I mean, defensively, we came out right away, and boom, and it was you know, really set the tone. But you know, they have some good players too, and it was like you said, it was a Big Ten, you know, kind of. You know, it was one of those, you know, cage rattling type deals, and you know, I kept telling the players during the game. I said, "This is what it is. This is what it feels like. This is that game. This is that type of game. And this is what it's going to be." I mean, you could tell as the game was going on. I said, "It's going to be one of these games, guys, and we just going to keep chopping and do what we do. You know, do what we do and just keep coming at them." And like I showed our players early in the week a secretariat in the Belmont Stakes in 1973. Showed them that race, and then I showed them a little excerpt from an article that said that his heart was more than 2.5 times the size of a normal, you know, a horse, you know. And I told him, I said, you know, we don't talk about that, you know, much anymore, but the heart of a football team. When I saw down in Miami, I saw a team with a lot of heart. And I said, this football team is special, and I wanted them to know that you know, playing with, you know, just old school, playing with heart, you know, and keep playing them. And that's a lot to be said to be able to do that, you know. And that's what we know that we're going to get from this bunch, from this particular football team. And that's what we know that we're going to get. They're going to play hard. They're going to believe. They're not going to quit. Okay, and they're going to keep playing the next play. And they're going to be physical. And they're going to do everything they can to find a way to get it done.
On the left side.
The running game had been averaging about 260 yards per game the first three, and then until the last run, the longest one was 11. Was there something Nebraska was doing? What happened there that changed it to what the way it went today?
Yeah, I mean, I really have to look at the tape and see, you know, specifically, you know, what it was. You know, give Nebraska credit, of course, you know, for doing a good job. But obviously, you know, we have some things we need to address, and you know, we'll be able to get back to running the ball the way we need to run it. You know, and that's going obviously going to be a point of emphasis for us. And I have confidence that we'll be able to get that done. You know, but give Nebraska credit; they did a nice job. You know, against the run.
We got time for two more. We'll go Chris and then Matt to wrap us up.
Mel, kind of two different things on his. I guess first of all, 51 plays and more than 23 minutes for your defense in the second half. In those moments, what are you telling those guys when it's 3 and out for the offense, and then the defense is right back out there, and they got to keep going through it and grind against that offense? Yeah,
we're telling them. You know, to go out there and get them stopped. You know, play good first, second down defense, get them a third down, and get off the field. You know, and we're telling them that you're built for this. You know, this is what this is what defense is all about. I mean, the defense is it doesn't matter what's going on offense or whatever. Your job is to get them stopped. You know, it doesn't matter you know, how long you're out there. You keep going out there. You know, we got enough players that we can roll guys through and find a way to get it done. But we were really harping on just do your job. Don't start to press. Don't start to try to just go make a play. I was telling him, I said, when Scotty calls the defense, you play the defense call. Okay, you play it. And then make the plays that are presented to you. Eventually, you're going to have an opportunity to make a play, and you make it. You know, and just keep going. And our guys are really, really dialed in to that. There was no panic. There was no. Guys were they were just really into it. The body language was good, and the guys kept saying, hey, just keep chopping, keep chopping, keep chopping, keep chopping. And when you do that, you know, when you can do that, then you can get a lot done with guys, because, I mean, football is not a game of perfect. It's just not.
The second part that I got for you is I wonder if you can talk a little bit about Matt Coughlin. Not just the field goal to win it, but the touchbacks that he had, and in particular that last kickoff when you got set back with the penalty. I mean, setting them up that far back, I think at the 18, I mean, that's better than getting a touchback.
Yeah, I mean, Cogs came through for us big, you know, and he's a veteran player. He's kind of been there, done that. He's always very confident. You know, he does a good job in practice, and you know, we knew that they had some issues fielding some balls in the past. You know, so we just had confidence to just put a foot on it, get it out there, and let's go cover. You know, and so he did that, and that last that field goal to win it. I mean, he was like. He looked at me, he's like, I got you. like, hey, I'm good, I got you, Cole. You got nothing to worry about, because Ken was upset because he didn't score. You know, he was upset because he almost scored. He was upset, so he comes off the field and he was like, I'm like, man, we got it. We're going to be okay. And he was like, man, as long as we win, as long as we win, as long as we win. And then Cogs was looking at me like, Coach, I got it. You know, and so, like I said, it's a fun team to coach. Guys, they want to get it done in the worst way. Like, they care. Like, their care factor is high. like very high, and we push them so hard during the week, and they embrace it, and they understand that like this is a tough game, to play, and in this week in and week out, it's gonna be an all-day sucker out there, when you go play, and so we've shown that we can win games, a certain way, with a kind of large margin. We've shown that we can go on the road, in the heat and find a way to get it done, and we've shown that we can, win a game like this. However you want to characterize it, you can have fun with that, whatever. But the voices inside of our building are going to be louder than the voices outside of the building for this football team, and so we're going to go back to work. We know what we need to do. We're going to figure it out. And we're going to figure it out very quickly, and get ready for the next one. That's what we're going to do.
All right, we'll wrap up, Matt.
Hey, Mel, in the middle here.
Yeah.
I think you had 7 sacks tonight. There were some key moments, I think, back-to-back late in the first half. You had the one at the end of regulation. What did you see from your guys bringing pressure, particularly guys up front?
Yeah, well, it's just rush and coverage working together. If you can get the quarterback to hold the ball, you take away his first read, get him to hold the ball, and then you have coordinated pass rush. And guys, it's kind of like a hustle rush. It's like just stay in the hunt, just keep coming, eliminate the step up, and just everyone working together. You eventually you're gonna get to them. Martinez is a good player now. He's hard to bring down. Like he was the one making things happen out there. On the first that big run he had, I think in the first half. We had him in the backfield. We had like 2 guys that had him. He stepped out of it and he was out the gate. He was a very hard guy hard guy to bring down. We had him out of the game early. Then we saw him over there warming up, and he comes back in there and he's running around. He's a good player. So, but that's to get those sacks. That's rush and coverage working together, and that's Coach Burton doing a good job rotating those guys in there, and trying to keep guys fresh. And you just stay in the hunt. The key to that is a rusher, stay in the hunt. Don't stop, and everyone working together. And they have some young players on their offensive line, and you have to believe that eventually you're going to get to them. That's the goal. As a football team, eventually we're going to get to them and find a way to get it done at the end. That's what it's all about. It's a fight. They want to win too. They got coaches too. They got highly recruited players too. It's a competition, and it's rough out there. And I know one thing. Our guys are they're not going to back down from anybody at any time.
All right, Coach. That's all we got for you tonight. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate you. Thank you so much. I know it's going to be a short night for some of you, so sleep fast. Go Green.